Hello survivors and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video, and in this video we're going to be taking a first look at Gold Mythic Diamond, who is going to be the alert challenge run character. This is the character you can get after completing 60 stages of challenge run, every 60 stages of the challenge runs. And as you can see visually, she kind of looks cool. She gives me the sort of feels of a vampire hunter, but she's got like the Wild West cards in the hat. I like it a lot. I like the jacket, I like the get up, the axe in the hand as well. She doesn't have an attached pistol on the right hand side, as you can see. It's just the default pistol in her hands, but on the left hand side you can't really see it, but she has got a really nice gold revolver, and she's got a revolver tucked into her belt as well, but in her hands she's got a really nice gold pistol. And we have seen this from the challenge run characters so far. They've got nice weaponry in their art, but they're not actually holding it. So like I said before, hopefully we see these weapons pop up at some point in the future. We also see, like, we don't see her eyes on the left hand side. I don't know what it is about this sort of style of art. It always just looks instantly cool because of that. Now we're going to look at the stats of this character. As a level 680 limit break 2 character, she has got 16,847 attack, 14,039 defense, and 15,911 HP. She is an alert character, of course, holding that pistol. She is considered a controller, and she's a mythic character, and she is now the third character to make it into the challenge run allegiance. Third of 4 out of the characters that are available right now. Now Diamond, of course, has an adrenaline rush, and it is called Cover Shot. It has got a recharge rate of 66 AP, which is just the normal speed for an attack team character, which I think primarily Diamond looks to be that sort of character. Deals 600% damage to one enemy. Up to 2 other teammates get a Guardian Shield. So the 600% damage to one enemy is nice. It's just a single target nuke. You can amplify that with obviously weaponry, attack stat, leader attack stat, 1535s, the good stuff. But the second part is actually kind of cool. I like this quite a lot. It will go to the 2 lowest HP characters on the team, and it will generally happen on your own turn 3, and that will block the potential rushes that are going to be incoming on the enemy's turn 3. If they have any offensive rushes, it will stop them from potentially doing any damage. So the timing of it is very good. Guardian Shields are nice. This has, obviously, there has been a change to Guardian Shields recently, where before there was an issue where if you had actually someone who had the Guardian Shield Specialist in a team and someone who had Guardian Shields within their skills, the Guardian Shield Specialist would have to go first to get all the Guardian Shields possible that turn. Now it's not the case, so there's going to be a little boost there if you do tend to use Guardian Shield characters on attack teams like Mirabelle, that sort of thing. So yep, I think Diamond could be nice, and having 4 Guardian Shields proc in a turn is awesome, especially if you're coming up against certain teams. She could rush a particular character, and then your entire team could get Guardian Shields if you attack with Mirabelle afterwards, and then potentially you could like rush a payback character and have no issues because the Guardian Shields are going to take that payback damage. Okay, so we have got the rush up here of Diamond, and you can see one of my characters got massively focused off of the first couple of turns, and they're at very low HP. It's Harper, the leader, and you can see with the HP numbers, Glenn is the secondary character with the lowest HP, so it should be Harper and Glenn getting the Guardian Shields. It will go to the character to the current lowest HP, not the current, not the lowest max HP. Now we have got a character defense that really shouldn't be here. It's going to be Valkyrie. I did do a review of this character. If you want to check her out, you can. You should see a little link in the top right hand corner. But we're going to take her out because, just let's take out the damage dealer. Trait damage is going to come in, and there are the Guardian Shields. That's going to be the bonus, and it's generally going to go to damage dealers because they are going to be the ones with generally the lower HPs. So this rush is actually pretty decent, and while she is a controller, I would see this as being more of a support rush. It does sort of stop people from gaining AP. They will not gain AP if they do basic attacks against the Guardian Shield, so there's a bit of control there. You can see the upgrades are actually pretty easy to come by. At grade 2 she gets the 200% damage bonus, so it goes from 400% to 600%, and at grade 4 it gets 1 extra teammate for Guardian Shield. Now there's no grade 5, limit break 1 or limit break 2 upgrade on this character, so you probably say there's likely to be a limit break 3 upgrade on this character. And what could potentially be powerful in this character is if something was tacked on to the end, or if the Guardian Shield was expanded more, so it was potentially like 3 other teammates getting Guardian Shield that would be obviously really powerful. We'll have to see down the line what's going to happen there once Limit Break 3 comes out, but there's quite good potential within this rush here. Next up is Diamond's signature move, and I quite like this one. It is called Bounty. It has got an initial cooldown of turn 1, cooldown of 2 turns, number of uses unlimited, up to 2 enemies get stunned for 2 turns. This is really, really basic, but it's really quick. Initial cooldown turn 1 means you can do it straight away on an attack team and control potentially 2 characters instantly. You will be able to dictate which one of those 2 characters you want to stun. The second one will be completely RNG. It could go to someone who's got stun resist inbuilt in their kit. You know, there are stun resist characters out there who's like Eugene, for instance, has got stun resist in his kit, so he could just naturally resist it. There could be people with mods, you know, that's just the way it goes. But you can target one character and the second one you can get as a little bonus. Now, they're not going to do any damage when you do this, but you'll still gain the 35 AP from doing a signature move as usual. So it's generally a good idea to do this. And I personally really like 2 enemies getting control for 2 turns. I think that is pretty good balance there. And the bonus with this is it kind of acts as a disarm, because if you know that when a character is stunned, their weapon no longer procs, so you don't necessarily have to take a disarm on a team when you take Diamond. So pretty basic. We're going to come in against this team again, and we can see Doc Stevens here. Doc Stevens has got an absolute defense weapon. I'm going to swipe left and he is going to be stunned. Also, another potential character with a stun and defense weapon would be up the top. So these 2 weapons would be really nice. Any follow-up damage I do would have no chance of absolute defense and would have no chance of stun on defense. The only time I think stun on defense doesn't work is against passives. So there are going to be some passives that can proc. There are the odd characters that have stun on defense, absolute defense, that sort of thing on their passive build. So you've just got to be aware of which characters have those and which character you want to guarantee the stun on, and just like lead up all the attacks to gain some free AP. So honestly, I think this is a really nice signature move. I like the fact that I don't have to take a disarm onto a team with Diamond in it. It is a nice option. And I think this is a nice introduction of the way to do it. We haven't had an alert disarm before. This can work with different teams. You know, you can have it with the Laurie, Carol, and Sandy teams that I've talked about in the past. This potentially could be a character that could fit into that team and do pretty well. Now, if we look at the upgrade, she's got quite a lot on this signature move, so I don't think we're going to see too much more from it, but they are pretty good ones. At grade 3, it goes to -1 cooldown, so it goes from 4 turns down to 3 turns. At grade 5, it goes -1 starting cooldown, so it goes from 2 turns down to 1 turn. At limit break 1, another -1 cooldown, so it goes from 3 turns down to 2 turns. And at grade limit break 2, you can see that it is going to be +1 stun target. So initially it will only be the character that you focus, but still that's not too bad. It will still work like that disarm. There are very tanky characters on those defense teams, so you know you're not really going to be able to take a character out first turn against really tough defense teams. So that 2-turn stun will be enough to get your free AP gains in the first 2 turns. Now, when it comes to limit break 3, like I said, I don't really think there's much room for movement here. This is pretty much extent that I see this signature move get into, but I think it is a very good one as it stands. Now, next up is Diamond's mythic abilities. These are her passives. She has got precision because she is a control character. That means that she gets up to 40% lower resistance chance against characters because she is a controller, so they're much harder to actually resist her. Take cover. She has a natural 60% stun resistance. Actually pretty funny, we were talking about that before. So she's one of these characters that has the natural stun resistance. Attentive advantage is the next one. All alert teammates get 30% bonus trait advantage damage. This is kind of cool because I was just saying about the Laurie, Carol, and Sandy team, and this would amplify their damage output. So pretty nice there. And lastly, her last passive is called Never Trust the Dead. When taking out a target, 40% chance that target gets stunned for 2 turns. Now, this isn't really that amazing, but it is going to be good counter for characters that can outlast. Only 40% of the time, but this will work against like Mythic Governor, Razzo, these sort of characters, and that's not too bad, but she has to get the actual final hit to get the takedown for this to actually have a chance to proc. Okay, we'll just try and show off the potential 40% chance to stun the enemy when taking them out. It's mainly going to, be useful against characters like Razzo here, who has got Outlast. So we'll rush and should take him out. And as you can see, we did take him out and he's stunned. Now, if I defend on these last two characters, Razzo will just literally just fall to the ground. Won't do his rush like a normal Outlast character would do. And this has the chance to work against any Outlast character. Now, of course, there are characters in the game like Governor who can then cleanse that. But at least you're giving yourself an extra opportunity of control, if you get what I mean. So I think Diamond's passes are pretty decent for an attack team. The 40% chance I probably would have liked to see be a little bit higher, because she has to get the takedown, and it's only useful against very particular characters, but that's the way it is. If we look at the upgrades, you can see at grade 1 you get the first part of Take Cover, that's 40% stun resistance. At grade 2 you get the first part of Precision, that's due to her being a control character. At grade 3 you get the first half of Attentive Advantage, and that's the alert characters getting 15% bonus trait damage. Now, you have seen the trait damage on some of the other characters, but Diamond gets it up to 30%. So that's actually maybe in a bit of a look into the future of those other characters, maybe going up to 30% too, which would be actually pretty cool. At grade 4, she gets the second half of Take Cover, so just getting one of Diamond will be enough to get her 60% stun resistance base, which is actually pretty good. Getting the second Diamond will get her to grade 5, and then you get Never Trust the Dead, which is the 40% chance that a target gets stunned for 2 turns. These are the main ones in my opinion. I think it's going to be Take Cover, Attentive Advantage, at least one half of it, and then Never Trust the Dead. Now we're going to move into the limit breaks. You can see at limit break 1 she gets the second half of Precision, and limit break 2 she gets the second half of the trait damage for alert characters. So it's not terrible if she's not limit broken too. She's still going to do reasonable amounts of boost for her teammates, but she gets the full 60% stun resist, and she also gets the full 40% chance that the target gets stunned for 2 turns. Now, when it comes to limit break 3, I'm going to go ahead and guess that Never Trust the Dead might get a boost. It might go up to like 55 or 60%, because I think we see that on some characters where they get a boost to this sort of thing, like Andrea 2000 got a boost to her chance to hit crosshairs, but she got a limit break 2. I'm assuming Diamond is going to get this at limit break 3, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, Diamond is quite a free-to-play accessible character, and she is going to be the first one that is going to have the brand new specialist skill called Headcracker. Now, there are other characters in the game already that have Headcracker, but this is going to be the first one that's going to be on a lot of people's rosters quickly. When this character performs a critical attack on a target, that target will be dazed for 2 turns, and this character recovers from all penalties. This is obviously really good against, bleed, burn. If you're on fire at the beginning of the turn, you're going to be able to cleanse that. Any attack down, basically anything that doesn't stop you from doing a basic attack. As long as you can do your basic attack, even if it's a confused attack and she crits, it will still happen. Even if it happens against your own teammates, the only thing that can really stop this, I think, is stun. I can't really think anything else. Taunt, you can still crit. Obviously, there are going to be characters on defense teams. If they're tanks, they can potentially have crit resistance. So then they can obviously resist the crit, and then it won't proc, even though she would have hit the crit. Now, she is an alert character, so she's not going to be able to take advantage of anything like spectacular when it comes to like 100% crit weapons or anything like that. But this is nice. This adds to her control. Daze is actually pretty powerful. There are some very powerful first turn signature moves right now. For instance, Barker. You just attack Barker, hit the crit. Nope, it's not going to happen. Now, you've got to decide, obviously, if you want to use Headcracker first turn or if you want to use a signature move. A little bit of choice. I think the choice adds to the sort of skill level of a character. So this is maybe a little bit of a harder character to use, knowing when to use which one. But I think choice is good. Okay, so let's say we came up against a team like this. We'd have to decide how we're going to want to control Barker, because we're going to have to control Barker in this team, just because he will get a first turn rush if we don't, which is going to be brutal because they've got Rick 2000 on the defense team here. Now, let's just pretend that we knew that Barker had a really good stun resist mod. I'm talking like 83% or something crazy. We know we haven't got much chance of hitting it with that signature move, but he does not have any daze resist. So if we hit a crit, we are going to guarantee the daze. Now, even if he's in a team with the likes of Cliff, and he doesn't take any damage, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's still going to be the one that gets dazed. Now, fortunately, Barker is also a support character, so he's not going to be able to block crits. So this might be a little heads up to anyone with Barker that you may need to start using daze resist on him in the future. And this doesn't mean he can't use his first turn signature move. He's not going to be commanded turn 1, and the signature move will at best go off on turn 3. So quite a nice specialist skill on an attack team. It can work on a defense team, but I think the majority of Diamond's kit is pushing her towards an attack team at the moment. And we've talked about the kind of team that I think she'd do well in. And her being able to control those first turn signature moves is going to be nice. She's going to be, you know, alongside potentially other characters that have first turn signature moves as well. So she can control it with her specialist skill, or she can control characters with her signature moves. You've got a choice. You've got a choice. I think I can kind of see people just basically like deciding what they're going to do with Diamond, and then kind of hitting the auto button for the first turn, just blowing up a team with the likes of Laurie and Karen in the same setup. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting for sure. Now, like I said, Diamond does not have an attached weapon in her hands, and you could build a weapon, you know, have a weapon ready for her and just put it in her hands if you so wish. Now, there is a perfect weapon, in my opinion, for Diamond that would work really well available right now. And that would be the weapon in the battle pass. It gives her the attack she needs. She's going to get a bit of AP too. The confuse on her crits will work with her basic attacks when she does want to hit those basic attacks and hit those crits because of her specialist. The cleanse is nice, but you might want to swap that out. But this weapon will obviously work in her hands. You're going to push that attack up a little bit as well. So yeah, I think this weapon was great, but it's completely up to how you want to deal it. If you did give her a stun on defense weapon on an attack team, her passives would still come into play when it comes to precision and the attacker having less chance to resist it. So that could also be a decent idea. But would she be the one that gets focused by the defense team over characters like Laurie, Sandy, if you were going to use her in that setup? It's very doubtful. So that's Diamond overall, and I think she has some great potential in an attack team. That attack team that I was talking about before, it's missing something though. It's missing a good alert attack leader, and we'll see what comes out in the future when it comes to the sort of characters that, you know, get released. But I hope it's more of a support character, kind of like Conrad, that kind of character, rather than a character that does damage. If you've got Carol, Laurie, and Sandy, you don't need damage, and even Diamond herself does pretty decent damage on top. She can, of course, be used in attack teams with the likes of Eugene, who is a recent event / promo / free to play to a certain extent. So yeah, I mean, I think she's pretty good. I think she's pretty good. Definitely has some usability. I really like the fact that she can replace to a certain extent a disarm. Just a little bit, just because of how stun works with weapons. So that's kind of cool. Do give me your thoughts on Diamond. What do you think about this character? How would you use her in a team? What do you think of the visuals? I think the visuals are awesome. That is going to be the end of my video, guys. I want to thank you very much for tuning in. And as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.